Hi folks, where's your reservation? Is your reservation with this truck or another electric vehicle? If you happen to have a reservation for the Ford F-150 Lightning, we're going to talk about it. I'm Randy Stern with George Tarline. This is Victory in Reseda.
Ford shook the automotive world with their full electric version of the F-150 pickup. In place of an internal combustion engine and gas tank are two electric motors driving all four wheels and either a 98 kilowatt-hour battery for the standard range model, good for 452 horsepower and 775 pound-feet of torque, or the 131 kilowatt-hour extended range battery model, good for 580 horsepower and 775 pound-feet of torque. Ford estimates it takes about 40 to 45 minutes to charge from 15% to 80% state of charge with either of these batteries on a level 3 150 kilowatt DC fast charger. In our testing, our home level 2 charger running at 40 amps, we timed the charging from around 61% to 100% state of charge in about 7 hours with our tester F-150 Lightning with the 131 kilowatt-hour extended range battery. Not only did Ford make the F-150 electric, but they made the electricity accessible through generous numbers of plug-in outlets throughout the truck, from USBs to 120 and even 240 volt sockets as part of the Pro Power feature. We'll talk more about that later. Meanwhile, let's join Randy to tell you more about the 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning.
So Randy, we have the 2022 Ford Lightning, and we have a chance to do some time in reviewing this vehicle.
We certainly did, both of us. Matter of fact, you drove it at the Midwest Automotive Media Association rally back at Elkhart Lake in May, and I just got it right now. So we still have a lot to share here.
So with the observations on this vehicle, it looks like a regular F-150. However, Ford did make a few modifications to make it a little bit more streamlined by giving it some wheel caps and some other aero treatment to save about 10% in its efficiency through the air.
Absolutely, and even on the Platinum, they made these aluminum wheels flatter for air optimization as well. However, you cannot mistake this with any other regular F-150 because we want to include Tremor and the Raptor in this conversation. But like I said, if you're comparing this to, say, a regular F-150 Platinum, you probably won't tell the difference unless you look at the grille and tail lights and other trim pieces.
That's right. The front end has the daytime lights that go all the way across the front and down, along with projector headlights. In the back, the taillights go all the way across the tailgate, with the individual taillights in the back as well. So very distinctive lighting that they applied to the Lightning to make it stand out.
Absolutely. I do like the distinctiveness of the Lightning, and actually it caught a bunch of attention while I've had it in my care. I mean, people pointing at me on the freeway, everyone coming up, how do you like it? Is it yours? Well, of course not. The thing is that people are paying attention to this vehicle, and it's viable. It's a viable electric pickup truck.
That's right. With the interior of the Lightning, it looks like another F-150, although you do have that large infotainment stack in the center now.
Exactly, and that's on the new version of Ford Sync, and that's the same system that you'll find in the Mustang Mach-E that you should watch our video on. So
that's down in the description below, by the way.
Yes, and not just that, but also it does look like an F-150 when you talk about the fold-down transmission gear shift, but the screen is different. It's much cleaner than it would be if it was a regular F-150, including Raptor. And I know I'm going back to Raptor, but you know, if there's an F-150, I'm still in love with that one. But and you can watch the video on that.
And the link for that's down below too.
Exactly, but the interior is luxurious. It's the Platinum level. So you do have this cushiony pillow cushions that are supported in the back. They are somewhat comfortable and supportive. Those are the only differences really, because everything else is just the same as every other F-150 Platinum. It's spacious in the rear seat. You could seat up to 5 people. However, there is a little secret up front.
What's that, Randy?
I wonder what it is. It's the Frunk. Now the Frunk is measured out at over 14 cubic feet. And it's really sizable. And here's the thing about the Frunk. You don't have to clutter up the cab in order to get your bags to the airport. They just open up and there you go. Because you can put a couple of suitcases when you're flying off somewhere. It's power operated opening and closing. I mean, it's really a very handy thing. However, there are a couple of hidden storage areas. One is in the front. It's like a small little piece where you could fit the charging adapter. It has its own case, fits perfectly right in there.
That's right. And speaking of hidden storage, inside the cabin, under the rear seat, is additional storage space that is hidden away too. So there are some nice places that you can stow away gear that you'd like to keep hidden from prying eyes.
Let's talk about what's powering this thing. You have two electric motors and a huge battery pack that's underneath the cab. Now, it's interesting because this is supposed to be a body-on-cab pickup truck. It still is, but instead of a driveline and mufflers and exhaust, they made sure that the battery pack is underneath the cab, between the axles.
With the F-150 Lightning, with all that energy in the battery pack, you have a lot of energy that you can apply towards powering devices. Ford has provided a lot of outlets in this vehicle. There are many up in the front, in the Frunk, including 110 outlets and USB A and C. In the cabin, you have plenty of outlets in there, but also in the back, you have 110 outlets, as well as a 240 volt outlet, which is capable of powering up to 30 amps, which is really quite a bit. So using this truck as a work truck, perhaps you're doing construction work and you want to power your tools. This could be a great truck for that. Let's say you wanted to, let's say a welder. Now that takes a lot of power. So
Certainly does.
F-150 Lightning has more than enough power to run a welding system. So if you're remote and you need to do any welding, it can certainly do that.
Among other things, mind you, as like if you got power tools that you can plug right in.
That's right. So power tools, accessories, you need remote power somewhere. Let's say you want to go camping.
Yes.
And you're out in the wilderness, out in very remote areas, and there's no power and no utilities. The F-150 Lightning has more than ample power to help power all your devices. Perhaps you need some light inside your tent, but why stop there? Maybe you want to add some light to your campsite. Once you got that accomplished, why suffer with burnt food on the campfire?
Yes.
Let's crank out the microwave and let's warm up some meals that offer proper nutrition. And then once you've accomplished that, well, what about entertainment? So let's bring the flat screen TV and watch that. But if you find that you don't have any TV reception, well, then what are you gonna do? Let's plug in a PlayStation. Get some entertainment through your PlayStation. And then let's say because you can cook food, you got light, you know, suddenly you're attracting the attention of girls coming out of the forest with beer in their hands and...
George, it's okay. It's okay. They'll figure it out. Matter of fact, anyone who's going to own a F-150 Lightning has plenty of possibilities of what you can do with it, whether it's work, play, or just great recreation. This is a truck to do it in.
With that kind of versatility, Ford already has developed a police version of the F-150 Lightning for police departments wanting to be eco-minded with their fleets. Driving performance of the 2022 F-150 Lightning is very spirited for a pickup truck, even quicker than the V6-based F-150 Raptor. The instant torque of the electric motors deliver instant power on demand. Handling is good. With the help of the batteries being below the floor, it offers a low center of gravity, which helps with the handling. Ride comfort is very good with the independent rear suspension and a very quiet cabin. Is it still a work truck, you ask? Well, yes, it has a payload rating of 2,235 pounds for models with the standard range battery and 1,952 pounds for those with the extended range battery. For towing, the maximum towing weight with models with the standard battery is 5,000 pounds and 7,700 pounds for those models with the extended battery. If equipped with the Max Trailer Tow Package, then the numbers go up to 7,700 pounds for the standard battery models and up to 10,000 pounds depending on the trim chosen. The EPA estimated range for the 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning with the standard battery is 230 miles and up to 320 miles with the extended battery depending on the trim chosen. Our tester with the Platinum trim was rated for 300 miles, and we saw the vehicle report nearly that number when we charged up to 100%. In our thermal tests, both the front and rear seats showed good heating element coverage in the seat backs and bottoms. Just the front seats are ventilated. For the heated steering wheel, we found the warmth was spread evenly around the wheel. Pricing for the 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning for the first batch of orders started at $39,974 for the Pro model. Our top-of-the-line tester in the Platinum trim with options came to $93,509. For the second batch of orders as of August 2022, Ford has increased prices for the Pro model, now starting at $46,974, ranging up to the Platinum Extended range, now starting at $96,874 before options.
Okay, George, the Ford F-150 Lightning.
Certainly it's a very capable vehicle that offers really almost a disruptive type of technology with the power options that it can provide. You can use it in scenarios that you wouldn't normally use a pickup truck in, with the power that it can provide from its battery.
But do us a favor, if you have a reservation for this vehicle, keep it. If you got a reservation for a vehicle you're never gonna get this truck. So if you like what you've watched, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and a notification bell to be notified for the next video we produce. And don't forget to read all the great content of Victory Reseda at randystern.net. I'm Randy Stern with George Torline. Thank you for watching. What do we do?
Okay.